I enjoy lunch outside with Susie. I wonder where Felicity is. I didn't see her in the cafeteria. Maybe she joined the bear for lunch. Have you gotten to talk to her at all? I tried bringing you up in conversation, but she changed the subject to you dating Clark and I was successfully distracted. How could she lie about something like that? I was freaking out! She's getting more and more desperate, but only making herself look bad. She's acting out more than usual. There's something... there's gotta be something more than just, like, she's trying to get Leon's attention, right? There's gotta be something else going on, but I don't... at least I hope so, because if it's just something as juvenile as that, it just hurts my brain. After a hearty lunch, we returned to the field for afternoon practice, which I already have a game plan in mind for. I'm thinking we'll run through the show piece by piece. I'm no band director, but... What's going on? Why are there so many people gathered around the podium? I make my way through the crowd and freeze when I see what everyone's looking at. Really? Really? Is there like a jail at band camp that you can put people in for bad behavior? Is that a thing? Can you do that? Can we make one? Can we banish her outside the electric fence and she has to survive for 3 days? And if she does, she can come back in.
Why is there underwear on the podium? Look, it says dangerous on it. Who do you think it belongs to?
Disgusting!
Perverts, the lot of you.
Thank you, Clark. You're the only decent one here.
Hey.
And you too, Samuel.
We should get ready for practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like marking your territory. Alpha move.
Pop-Tart, please.
Oh, so it's Cadence's underwear.
Yeah, are we all thoroughly scandalized? Except for Peter. Doug points at me and everyone turns to look. I'm completely frozen in horror, despite my face feeling like it's on fire. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's my underwear. Susie must have left the door unlocked and Felicity went and stole it. I'm sure she did, and she picked the most embarrassing pair she could find. It was just some random underwear my mom got me as an April Fool's joke, but it turned out to be so comfortable I actually wore it regularly. And now I am full of regrets. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe Felicity would stoop so low. I didn't know we were letting 6th graders join the band now. Are we that desperate? Shut up, Peter. I don't want any of your lip, okay? This is awful.
Are you really that dangerous, Cadence?
All of the guys are staring at me. I feel tears threatening to form as I search for an answer. Marion. Marion, you fell on this sword for me? Because you're the most badass woman here, and no one would dare make fun of you if you did wear an underwear that said dangerous.
It's mine. I'm dangerous.
Marion pushes her way through the boys, who all gaze at her, open-mouthed.
Marion?
Why's your underwear on the podium? So you're the one who we need to
Ugh!
Didn't you read the underwear? Back up before you get hurt!
Go, Marion, go! Go, Marion, go! All of the boys recoil and do as she says. She snatches the underwear, balling it into her fist, and storms off. I wish I could be cool as Marion. I'm still mortified. I choke out something about having to go to the bathroom, then race away across the field. I hide in a porta potty for a few minutes and wipe my tears away. Luckily, my nose is all stuffed up from crying, so I can't smell anything. When I finally step outside the porta potty, I find someone waiting for me. Marion. She silently passes me the underwear. Overcome with gratitude and admiration, I throw myself at her and give her a big hug. This feels so much better now, knowing that I'm not keeping a terrible pit secret from you and you just have been an awesome lady. Thank you. The mom of the pit pats me on the back.
Don't mention it.
Yay! My heart is warm. Susie, can we kick Felicity out of our friendship group and have Marion instead? Because she's definitely way better. I return to the field, eyes clear, head held high. This is the final straw. I have to put a stop to this bullying. But first things first, I need to get through this practice.
Are you all right?
Shoot. Maybe my eyes are still a little red after all. But no one will be able to tell once I'm on my podium. Tell you later, Garth. Thanks for your concern. I give him a shaky smile. Excuse me. Then turn to address the rest of the band. Let's get to work! Somehow I managed to get through this practice. We run through each of the songs bit by bit, making improvements where necessary. There are a lot of little side conversations going on, which bother me a bit. I grit my teeth through it, starting to really understand why what Mr. Wiley goes through on a daily basis. If you stay focused, I'll let you all break half an hour early for dinner. But that means no more talking. I'm not proud to have to resort to bribery, but at least it works and we get through everything I wanted to. Come on, Cadence, let's go eat. Garth approaches us with a look of concern on his face. Hey Garth, want to have our leader meeting after dinner? Garth instantly catches on.
Sounds good to me. We can plan out what we want to do for evening rehearsal.
Awesome. Let's do it at the volleyball courts.
Farewell.
Farewell until then.
You two are so official. Mr. Wiley would be proud. But what if there's a game going on? Are you sure that's the best place to meet? Somehow I doubt people will have the energy, but we can always move. After dining with Susie, I'm glad to see the volleyball courts are empty, and Garth is waiting for me at a table.
Cadence.
Hey, Garth. I sit down with a great sigh.
I wanted to speak with you about Mr. Wiley, but more importantly...
Dear.
How are you?
Garth, if I was sitting with you and you called me dear, I would just start tearing immediately, just like, I've had the worst day ever. Oh no, I feel teary-eyed again, right? Oh, man, to have a friend like Garth. Not so good, Garth. I had enough to deal with, and now... I swallowed the lump in my throat. I'm being bullied. Garth kindly rests his hand on top of mine. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Slay, Garth, slay! Go forth. I love you so much. This is everything I wanted.
Which bitch do I have to cut for you?
You don't have to cut anyone. I swipe my arm across my eyes and sniffle. But, you know, if you happen to be walking with Felicity near the electric fence, if you just kind of hip-checked her by accident, that would be okay with me. Felicity likes Leon and seems to think I like him too, so she's been treating me really cruelly and spreading rumors. She even stole a pair of my underwear and put it on display for all of the world to see. I bury my face in my hands, trying not to relive that awful moment.
I'll have words with her.
I have a feeling Garth's words are going to be different from Susie's words. Oh, it's all I need, with everything else hanging over my head.
I'm looking out for you, Cadence. I'm not going to let this be a problem for you any longer.
Thank you, Garth. Let's change the subject back to Mr. Wiley.
Of course. I wish to ask you about his earlier remark. He put drugs inside the bass drum last winter?
Yes, I brought it up and he told me why. It was all to get Mr. Savage fired.
I see. Anything for the coveted position of band director.
That's not all there was to it. He knew Savage had a history of moving between high schools and heard from the band booster president that he was getting too chummy with the girls. Mr. Wiley had a feeling Savage would pull something, and he finally did, after school with the girl who was taking private lessons from him.
But Cadence, isn't that Susie?
No. No, don't you come at that. No. Garth, please tell me you're mistaken. What? I don't know. I didn't put any thought into it to respect the privacy of the victim.
Savage only gave private lessons to saxophone players or those who were switching instruments and needed help.
My hands start to shake. No way! How could it be Susie? She never...
I know she's your best friend, but it's not exactly easy to talk about. Think about it. There were no serious female saxophone players who wanted to take lessons, and Susie switched from trumpet to tuba last year and was having difficulties.
She used to be a trumpet player. No way. But I remember her complaining how much trouble she was having making the switch. I remember how she couldn't hang out after school sometimes because she had to go to her private lessons with Mr. Savage. Oh, God, I feel ill inside. The tears break free. I begin to sob freely. Susie had to go through that, and I wasn't there for her. What kind of friend am I?
How could you have known if she never told you?
I should have been there. I can still... I rise to my feet. I don't know what it is exactly I intend to do, but I want to do something. I want to help Susie, even if this unspeakable horror took place a year ago.
Don't you dare.
Felicity! Oh, that growl.
Just the girl I was hoping to speak with. Your petty attempts to bully Cadence end today.
Garth leaps to his feet and glares at her. I put my hand on his arm. Garth, wait. Susie doesn't need you digging up the past when she's done well to put it behind her. She almost quit band, I'll have you know. But I convinced her not to. I told her not to let Savage rip apart her life like that. He wasn't worth it. He's gone now. She doesn't need to hear that monster's name ever again. Felicity, you knew. Not until last spring, when Susie finally broke down and told me. She carried it with her through almost the entire school year, too ashamed to tell anyone. She told Felicity, but not me. My line of thinking must show on my face. Don't tell me you're wondering why Susie didn't come to you. You're so wrapped up in Cadence's little world, you probably didn't even notice anything was wrong. That's not true! I try to remember if Susie displayed any odd behavior last year, but I can't remember. Perhaps there were days when she was quiet, but I never thought anything of it. We all have our off days. Fine. Then what would you have done in that situation? If she told you everything? My voice quavers with grief as I answer. I would have been there for her. I never would have let her suffer alone. Wrong answer. Huh? The right answer is, I would have gotten that creep canned. And that's exactly what I did.
You got Mr. Savage fired?
Psh, no. I wish. The school pressured him to resign to keep their shame under wraps, and that's what he did. I tried to convince Susie to tell someone, but she didn't want to. She kept twisting it in her head that it wasn't as bad as she thought, or that it was her fault in some way. She took it as him being friendly. After all, band is a family, isn't it? but it haunted her until she couldn't hold it in any longer. So she told me. But still she refused to come forward. So I did in her place. I claimed that I was the victim, that he touched me. Okay. You know, respect for that. You used your position as daughter of the band booster president to get somebody out of there. That's not an easy thing to take onto yourself. I can give you some credit there, Felicity. Yeah, I know I'm a liar. Whatever. You were protecting Susie. That's what I aimed to do. Some band parents told my dad that I was just an attention-seeking teenager and Mr. Savage was a good man with a wife and kids. He would never do such a thing. Because as we all know, men with families are freaking saints. Her voice drips with sarcasm. They didn't believe me. And that's not even the worst of what they said about me. But I don't care what they call me. I don't regret it. And I'm glad it's me who had to be called these things instead of Susie. Okay. It all of a sudden makes sense why Susie sticks up for Felicity so much. Like, if I had gone through something that Susie had gone through, and someone had done what Felicity did, I would be forever indebted. Even though they're, like, so terrible in other ways. The fact they did that, whew. Ooh, man, this is getting deep. My dad said they were wrong. He called me a hero. He said I wasn't just protecting Susie, but all the other girls who could fall victim to that man in the future. So your dad even knew that you were lying for your friend. Dang. Your dad's a good guy too, Felicity. Yeah, right. He's right back in the system, off to be hired by another school who doesn't do their due diligence.
There's no justice to be found anywhere.
I let the tears run silently down my cheeks. I have nothing to say. Felicity seems to take this personally and flares up. I will never regret my actions. I did what I had to do. Thank you, Felicity. What? Thank you for helping Susie. I feel as though Felicity is a castle surrounded by thorns, but that doesn't stop me from reaching my hand out to her. She just eyes me suspiciously, making no move to take it. What? You're not going to tattle on me? After all, it's your perfect revenge for all of my so-called bullying, isn't it?
It's not so-called bullying. It's straight-up bullying.
You know what, Garth? I appreciate you, too, for drawing a line in the sand. Like, okay, look, you did something awesome for Susie, but what you're doing here to Cadence, the two things, like, it doesn't mean that you're okay now to just still be an awful person to Cadence. Like, yes, you did an awesome thing, but you're still bullying someone, and that needs to stop. So, thank you, Garth. Garth mutters under his breath, but neither of us address his comment. I keep my steady gaze on Felicity. No, I won't. I don't want us to be at odds anymore. So let's call this off. Us girls should be supporting each other and building each other up instead of tearing one another down like this. We've got enough of the world against us. Why make it even more difficult? I stretch my hand out just a bit further, willing her to take it. I think I can see the field of thorns that surround her starting to wither. Her expression softens. I attempt to smile and inject some humor into my voice. And for the record, you're way more of a badass than I could ever hope to be. You're the kind of girl I want on my side. Felicity snorts softly, and her expression flowers into a smile. Then finally, she takes my hand. I am pretty badass, aren't I? We squeeze one another's hands in solidarity, silence passing between us. I chuckle a bit awkwardly to break the tension. And if I could reiterate one last time, I am definitely not trying to get with Leon. No, I know. I just got jealous because he obviously likes you better than me. I'm sure he likes you too. No way. I went into crazy mode. She lets go of my hand with a sigh and stares down at her shoes. I'll give him some space and try again another time. So, friends?
Yeah, girl. Friends.
She smiles at me again, and for the first time ever, I think I've caught a glimpse of the real Felicity. Will the real Felicity please stand up? She always struck me as fake, only interested in being the center of attention, subtly putting others down to make herself look better. I never really liked hanging around with her. Yeah, she's got a lot of qualities I don't like. But she has a lot of good qualities too. I see it now. She's incredibly strong. And she can be a good friend.
I hate to spoil the moment, but...
Garth points toward the field where the band is gathering for evening practice. Oops. Well, who cares if we're late when our band director is sick? They both start to move off. Garth pauses when he notices that I haven't joined them.
Cadence? Are you coming?
Actually, I'm not feeling too well. I think I'll go check on Mr. Wiley. Is that okay? Garth seems to understand.
Indeed.
Of course. Give him our best. And if you're still feeling unwell, I'm sure it would be fine if you took the evening off to rest. You deserve it. And of course, you can depend on me to run practice.
I beam. I know I can. Thank you, Garth. You really are the best.
Farewell.
See you tomorrow, Cadence.
I watch him go. So he figured out that I intend to skip practice. I just don't know how I can stand before the band as their leader and conduct a normal practice after facing everything that I have this week. I need a moment to just be me. From here, I watch practice unfold. There's something beautiful about the distant sound of a marching band. The haunting melody of Venus sends chills down my spine. It sounds lonely and yet hopeful. I feel at peace listening to the band play it with such reverence. Even without a band director or a drum major, everyone is working so hard to be at their best. My heart swells with pride and sorrow. Well, now we know what the real root cause of all those fights with Susie were in some of the roots. She felt like Cadence was in her own little world and had no idea about the personal hell she was going through for a year. Kind of all makes sense why, little things just kind of was the last straw that broke Susie's back. I feel emotionally exhausted after those revelations, not gonna lie. But man, that puts a lot of things into perspective. Eventually, I get up and walk away. I let the sounds of the band fade behind me until all I can hear are crickets and my lonely footsteps. I embrace the peace of the night. I let my eyes roam over the stars and feel the cool air in my lungs. And then, for what I hope is the last time today, I let it all out. I curl up with my back against a tree and bury my face into my knees, sobbing. I feel overwhelmed. With all my responsibilities, with everything I've learned. This has been the longest week of my life, and it's not even over yet. I feel like I want to crawl into a dark hole and sleep there for a decade, until all of my problems are long gone.
Yo.
You, of all people, finding me sobbing. Why are you out here?
Playing hooky, eh?
Huh? I startle at the sight of Aaron.
So why exactly are you skipping out on...
He trails off at the sight of my face. I rush to distract him. Don't worry about me. What are you doing out here?
Going back to the lodge for a bathroom break.
Ah, well, don't let me hold you up. The band will be missing their star snare drummer. Huh?
How dare you give me the CG in this context, and you do not let me smooch the Aaron? How dare you?
Now I've got more to cry about. It's too much. It's too much in one chapter. I'm not strong enough to deal with this. I'm not okay. Aaron drops down next to me without warning, wraps one arm around my shoulders, and holds me close. It's a little rougher than I was expecting, and for a moment I forget my tears. What are you doing?
Shh. Tell me why you're crying. You can be vague if you want. Just let it out. I'll listen.
Really? I don't even know where to begin. I feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world on my back.
The responsibilities of drum major?
I wish it was just that. That's all it was when band camp started. I just wanted to be an inspiring leader and a great conductor.
You are.
You're not just saying that?
I wouldn't say it if I didn't think so.
What else?
I can't really say what else. It's just been a lot. I guess I feel like I've had to grow up too fast this week.
Well, from one kid who had to grow up too fast to another, you'll be okay.
He sounds so certain. I want to believe him.
Anything else?
No. I should let you get back to practice.
You sure?
Yeah. Like you said. I'll be okay.
That's right. You will be.
Oh, what could have been? It's so beautiful. Ugh. Aaron gets up and I feel a bit colder from his departure. I rise to my feet too, wiping away the last of my tears. I wish I could say this is the last time I'll cry today, but I know I'm not done yet. I wonder why Aaron had to grow up so fast.
Take the rest of the night off. But I'd better see you on that podium tomorrow. No more playing hooky. Show's not over yet.
I nod wordlessly. Aaron punches my arm lightly as if reprimanding me. Then he goes on his way, taking his sweet time as he heads in the direction of the lodge. Aw, that was so wholesome. I decide to stop by the cafe to get a little food in me and drink some water. I feel better for doing so. I spend the rest of the evening in my room, bracing myself for what's to come. At 9:15 p.m., she returns. I stand up from my bed to greet her. Cadence, there you are! Garth said you were sick. I was so worried. My eyes tear up at the sight of her. Are you okay? I didn't want to bring it up, but I also knew I wouldn't be able to look at her without crying. I have to tell her why. Felicity told me what happened to you last year. Slowly, I cross the room and wrap my arms around Susie. I hold her close, very much used to the tears pouring down my cheeks by now. I've lost count of how many times I've cried today. Somehow I managed to choke out words between my sobs. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I wish I could go back and change things. I wish I could have been there for you. Susie shakes in my arms. When she speaks, I can tell she is crying too.
Why are you apologizing to me? I'm the coward who couldn't come forward about it. Who couldn't tell my best friend what happened to me.
Absolutely not true. It was your choice to make, and I support you no matter what. Our friendship is unconditional.
But because I couldn't come forward, I put Felicity through so much. Because I'm an idiot and a coward.
Please don't say such harsh things about yourself, Susie. You are not an idiot, and you are not a coward. You are stronger and braver than anyone else I know.
Really?
She laughs bitterly. Yes, you being here is proof of that. I release her so I can look her in the eye, but I hold on firmly to her shoulders. Both of us are sniffling wrecks, our eyes red-rimmed and glossy with tears. And what happened to you was absolutely not your fault. Listen, I'm not going anywhere. Susie nods vigorously, a fresh wave of tears overcoming her.
Okay.
We will get through this together. I'm here for you, no matter what.
Okay. I'll always be here for you too. You can count on that.
We embrace again, squeezing each other so tightly that it's hard to breathe. Love you, Susie.
Love you too.
Oh. Today was one of the hardest days of my life. But tomorrow, I'm going to wake up to another day. The sun will be shining. The sky will be clear. It will be another day at band camp, but I will be ready for it. I may have had to grow up faster than I wanted to this week, but I will forge on. I will continue to grow and face whatever may come. It's all I can do.